Alright, so I have some objects to pass out to you guys. Feel free to squeeze them throughout my speech. Alright, I also have some questions that I'm going to be asking throughout my speech, so I ask you guys to raise your hand and answer them and all that fun stuff. Alright, so everybody knows just how extremely awful junior year is, right? You're coming out of sophomore year and everything's super hard. You have your SATs, you have your ACTs, you're applying to colleges, you're trying to get good grades so that way you can get into your colleges, and basically it's just kind of awful. But everybody warned me about just how awful it was going to be, but I didn't listen to them. I thought, I've never struggled with school before, so I figured, it'd be kind of easy and all that. So what I got in over my head. So my first semester of my junior year, I decided to take 9 classes. Why I did that? I don't know. But on top of that, I also happen to work 4 nights a week. And also, there's this thing at our school where our teachers kind of like all get together and decide to have a homework signed on the exact same night. And they also decide to assign all of their quizzes and their tests on the exact same night. Alright, so some of you may have heard the term stress. I was super stressed out. I was moody, I was super agitated, I had headaches all the time, I had these random anxiety attacks where I was just so overwhelmed with everything. And I would just constantly say, I'm so stressed out. But what is stress? Well, according to WebMD, stress says that it's the body's reaction to harmful situations, whether real or perceived. Our bodies kind of have this like natural chemical reaction that goes on in our brain where it releases cortisol whenever we're in a situation that we find threatening. This is called the fight or flight. So stress, it's completely natural. The main problem that we have nowadays is how we react to that stress. Some of us freak out and stuff and we just get overwhelmed and we don't know how to handle everything that's going on. Actually, according to Teen Help, 31% of teens say that they are super overwhelmed with stress. So what can you do about this? You have to think of these things more like challenges that you have to control and overcome instead of folding under pressure. So how many of you in here would have to say that you've ever been stressed? You've ever gotten those tension headaches, school, it's ever just got you so overwhelmed? Okay, now you guys, what are some of the symptoms that you have had? Have you guys had like headaches or anything? Have you guys ever just felt those tension headaches? You ever been super agitated, moody, just felt tired, just felt drained, all that stuff? Yes, those are the symptoms. Now, stress, it has such a wide variety of symptoms. It depends on each person, depends on how you handle that stress. Now, some of the most common emotional symptoms of stress is you're really easily agitated. You're moody. You just feel so overwhelmed with everything. You feel like you just got to take deep breaths because you can't handle it all. You can't relax. Like me during the nights my junior year when I had so much stuff to do, I couldn't relax. I would lay down to go to sleep late at night because I had so much homework. I would lay down and I would just think about all the stuff that I had to do, all the stuff I couldn't fall asleep because I just thought of all the things that I had to do instead of go to sleep. Now on top of that, I also had some physical symptoms. Some of those include low energy. You don't feel like you can get up and do anything. You have headaches, you feel so tense. Your shoulders, they start to hurt because you're just so tense and you feel like you got all this weight on your shoulders. You can feel your heart beating faster in your chest. And you're more susceptible to colds and all that. You're sick all the time. Now, a little bit of stress, it's good. I can tell you that. It's good. It motivates you. It makes you want to go out and do things. It's what helps you get things accomplished. However, there is such thing as chronic stress. It's where the stress, it happens all the time. Now there is many things that come with chronic stress, and I'm going to be showing you a little bit of a video that just shows some of the problems that you will have with chronic stress.
But high levels of cortisol over long periods of time wreak havoc on your brain. For example, chronic stress increases the activity level and number of neural connections in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. And as levels of cortisol rise, electric signals in your hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with learning, memories, and stress control, deteriorate. The hippocampus also inhibits the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control your stress. That's not all though. Cortisol can literally cause your brain to shrink in size. Too much of it results in the loss of synaptic connections between neurons and the shrinking of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision-making, judgment, and social interaction. It also leads to fewer new brain cells being made in the hippocampus. This means chronic stress might make it harder for you to learn and remember things, and also set the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's disease.
Alright, so there were a lot of big medical words in there, but basically what it's saying is that throughout chronic stress, your brain literally can shrink. It's harder to retain information, it's harder for you to learn. Some other things that Psych Central listed as problems that also come with chronic stress is heart disease. It increases your risk of having heart disease. That is, it's also because, stress, when you're stressed out, you also tend to eat comfort food. Well, that's not so good for your heart either. You're also more susceptible to infections. Like I said earlier, you're more susceptible to getting sick. It also increases your likelihood of having hypertension in your future. And that's high blood pressure. That's not good. So people who have chronic stress, you need to learn how to deal with that. You need to learn how to maintain everything that you're doing. You need to learn how to get everything together and just not be so overwhelmed by it. So you can either maintain what you're doing, or else you can do something to relieve the stress that's being caused by everything. So henceforth, that's why I passed out to you guys some stress balls. Squeeze it, helps release some stress. Other things that you can do, you can go out and meditate. You can take deep breaths. There's actually apps for your phone that you can download nowadays that help you deep breathe, to help calm you down and help relieve some stress. It's also helpful to smile and laugh more often because, after all, laughter is indeed the best medicine. It relieves some chemicals in your brain that ultimately they do make you happier. Also, what I happened to do when I was in my junior year, when I was stressed out, I would just go outside and go for a walk, some fresh air. Exercise is really good for you. Again, releases some chemicals that make you feel better. So since my junior year, I've learned how to overcome my stress. Now that I'm in my senior year, I started viewing more of these schoolwork and everything like that as more of obstacles that I just have to overcome. I don't get stressed out by them as much anymore. But I still do get stressed from time to time, which is good. It keeps me motivated. But I'm going to leave you today with a quote written by Lou Holtz. It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. Thank you, guys.